What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Please follow my Instagram at RussoLifts, just in case something happens to this YouTube channel. You can follow, message, and you can watch my daily story content on Instagram. I'll see you there. What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to the how much of my gains did I keep from my massive bulk cycle video going into my cruise. So if you guys are new here, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'm trying to push this unbiased bodybuilding content to the top of the fitness YouTube scene, and I know YouTube doesn't really want it to happen, but you guys have been letting it happen, so I appreciate everyone who stops in and checks out all my vids and stuff. So yeah, the whole goal with the bulk cycle was to first off document injectable SARMs hybrid cycle. So that means a baseline, a test to keep estrogen in a normal range, as well as have the muscle nitrogen retention of the testosterone in there, and then the injectable SARMs be the main androgen. So I documented a bunch of them in video format, as well as documented the side effects I experienced. So feel free to check out the transformation videos and the individual video logs to see how I was feeling during those cycles. But as you guys know, if you watched it, you know the toxicity was getting pretty crazy with the injectable ostrine, so it was time to go back into a cruise and detox. And I was ready to go into a cruise well before the injectable ostrine. I mean, the injectable LGD 677 and YK stacked was, again, monstrous results, but the lethargy, the energy drop throughout the day was brutal. And you know, I was super ready to go into a cruise well before I actually went into one. I just wanted to get that ostrine documented to see what it was all about, and to see if it was even anything like regular oral administration ostrine, which we concluded that it wasn't. But yeah, I was ready to go. So when you go back into a cruise, or when you go into a PCT, it's critical to continue training like an animal, right? And to continue keeping your food intake in check to maintain your weight. You really do not want to do this yo-yo effect of when you do this extreme cycle, you put on all this lean mass, and you put on all this mass, water retention, glycogen in general, and then when you PCT come off, or when you go back in your cruise, you don't train as hard, your diet starts going off. No, you need to keep those variables the same. And it's really important to create a new set point and set point muscle, which set point is basically like the whole goal of this cycle for me personally was to create a set point to where I could sit on a TRT cruise and maintain a much greater physique, because I have a lot more muscle nuclei, and with the hyperplasia effect of the 677 and the YK11 myostatin effect, I created a lot of new muscle cells that, again, I could cruise on a lower toxicity cycle, aka a TRT cruise, and maintain the physique, maintain my strength. So it was very critical for me to stay around 240 pounds entering my cruise, and that was my goal, and that is what I accomplished. I sit around 241, 242 pounds, so I'm about 9 pounds under my ending morning weight. So definitely lost some size, but again, and some fullness obviously. But I definitely, made it a point not to, dwindle away back under 230. I wanted to stick up at this weight to make sure the lean body mass solidifies and to create that new set point. So when I decide to shred down and compete, I'm volumizing the muscle as I'm, coming down, versus dwindling away in this cruise and then having to, basically redo what I did and all the risk I took of this bulk cycle. So yeah, as far as strength, I did want to show, I'm still moving weights in the gym. I'm not training like a bitch. My strength didn't go massively down. I definitely, these weights feel heavier. I definitely have to push harder in the gym. It's not like I pick up everything. Oh, this feels like the same. The 125s feel the same as, the 9. It's not like that. Everything definitely feels heavier. Everything is, more of a struggle, but this is what going back into a cruise, or going off and going into a PCT, is all about, is the mental game of dealing with the androgen fluctuation, as well as the mental game of dealing with, that super physiological androgen level is why you look like that. So you cannot maintain those freak looks on a TRT cruise or a PCT coming off, right? You're going to lose nitrogen retention, you're going to lose the crazy fullness, and if you're on hardeners and stuff, the androgen is what causes that look, right? So it's all about maintaining the set point, so you have the muscle memory, the muscle nuclei, and the new set point to when you go into a competition blast, or you go into your summer blast again. You could utilize less gear to get the same look, or you could utilize a little more gear and push the boundaries even farther if you want to do that. But remember, bodybuilding is a marathon, not a sprint, especially enhanced bodybuilding. So detoxing, going back to your set point, and chilling at a lower toxicity cycle is what it's all about for a while, and letting all your blood markers go back into range is what it's all about as well. It's not about trying to constantly blast or constantly figure out these insane cruises to maintain these unmaintainable looks for years at a time. It's all about creating these set points if you want to do the blasting and cruising method, or if you want to do PCTs, it's about having that muscle nuclei there, so the next time you go on cycle you could take more steps forward, right? So this is right as I was getting off. I want to show some of my Instagram clips, because these beginning clips were as the virus taken into full effect. So my diet has been off because of, I'm sure everyone knows how these supermarkets are right now. I don't need to explain that, but the first couple clips were in a gym that I had to drive 40 minutes away from. It's illegally open right now. I had to pay a lot of money for some day passes just to get my working sets in. But this was, when all hell didn't break loose. I got 365 for a triple, and this is where I injured my quad, so I was super, or my IT band, so I was super sketch doing this PR attempt. But, this was my old max, so right as I was going into my cruise and my androgen levels were creeping down, had no issue knocking out a 365 pound front squat for a triple. Banged the 125s on incline. My strength really hasn't really been impacted as I go into a cruise, or when I was much smaller and I could maintain my muscle mass on my natural hormones. I went right back into more central nervous system based training, right? I did not keep my approach of doing blood volume training, which is what people do when they're enhanced, right? Do a lot of reps, push a lot of blood. That works when you're super enhanced. You can do that in a TRT cruise. Again, I really do like pushing my CNS and going back into more CNS strength-based work, which builds more density and just, allows me to be a beast in the gym and continue to push the weights and continue to have the tendon strength. So that's what I was basically focusing on training-wise as I was dropping my super physiological androgen level so far down to where, it used to be during this insane bulk blast. So that was the goal. That was what I accomplished. This posing footage, I weighed 241 this morning. I weighed 247 in the gym with clothes on. So this is the smallest I looked. This was no food, no pump. I walked in the gym. This was the last day the gym was open before it was shut down because of the virus. I just walked in the gym, started posing, and this is when, the blood started filling up in my muscles. So this is the smallest, least wateriest at this weight. So I feel like this is a good representation of the amount of muscle I was able to keep, to which you guys can compare to during the blast. Now remember, the 677, everything was cloudy from all the water. There was a lot less separation, but me personally, I do look and feel a lot smaller, which is fine. Again, I'm talking about new set point muscle and having the new muscle nuclei, the new permanent muscle cells for when I go into a competition blast. I can revolumize and repop all this muscle. But I do want to say, you cannot maintain that blast look, because that blast look is from the super physiological androgen level. And I have to explain this all the time when people DM me. You're going to lose some gains. It's all about maintaining and creating a new set point, or having the new muscle nuclei for when you get off, you can get back to where you were faster. And again, bodybuilding is a marathon, not a sprint, especially enhanced bodybuilding. So if you've been blasting stuff for years straight, definitely detox. Take some time away from it. You will not deteriorate rapidly like you think. You just have to be smart and calculated with your food as well as your training. Do not start training like a bitch. just because, you know, things start to feel heavy again. Remember, this is why people say you should train naturally first. You know, when I train naturally, I naturally could shoulder press the 110-pound dumbbells. You know, when you're a natty shoulder pressing the 110s, man, those things feel insanely heavy above your head. But, you know, when I'm super enhanced, the 125s feel like 110s. So just remember, you know, everything's going to get heavier. You got to push through it. What really makes the person is dealing with the mental roller coaster of doing these detoxes to, you know, continue your marathon and bodybuilding, to building a physique that you can maintain for a short amount of time, to show it off on stage or to show it on the beach. This is what enhanced bodybuilding is all about. And doing it calculated versus just blasting shit for years, you will end up paying for that. So hope everyone's well and hope everyone's safe, and, you know, don't visit any of your old relatives right now. I have no idea how this is going to play out, but
brougkr.
I'm interested to see, and I've been watching the case reports. So hope everyone's well. I'll see you in my next video.